What's up, y'all? Y'all are watching Atlanta Skate Interviews, Skate Legends. I'm Ryan.
I'm Jayla.
I'm Sierra.
And we are
Jurassic. This next skate legend definitely needs no introduction.
Mr. Cascade himself.
Mr. Greg Alexander.
What's up, everybody? We back. It's Atlanta Skate Interviews, Skate Legends.
Known worldwide from the movie ATL. We done had celebrities like Beyonce, Big Boy, 21 Savage, Usher, Lotto, and we could keep going. How we doing today, Mr. Greg?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good, So, OG, what we got for Greg today?
Yeah, I want to know, so when did you start Cascade? Or when did you open up Cascade?
Well, Cascade, I started construction in September of 1999. We broke ground. And we officially opened to customers on March 20th of 2000.
Okay. So far, how's everything been going with Cascade?
Well, I mean, it's exceeded all my expectations.
Right.
You know, I was just building a rink for people to come and skate. I never thought that it would become so well known and known around the world and have all these celebrities come into it. I never envisioned that.
Right. So what's been some of your biggest moments here?
So, I mean, everybody can point to events like Beyonce having her 21st birthday party. You know, they could point to events with Big Boy and Outkast doing events, 21 Savage, Magic Johnson. But I think for me and my team, we're just here doing business every day, and we enjoy what we're doing, whether it's a celebrity event or whether it's a regular skating session.
Right.
You know, we just enjoy what we're doing, what we are serving the public and serving our community.
Right.
So what a lot of people don't realize is that the color scheme at Cascade was not, I didn't do that.
Oh.
I wish I could take credit for it, but I'm really not that good with color scheme. I barely know how to dress myself. So when we were building the building, the contractor kept asking me, you know, what carpet, what color we gonna put on the walls? I said, I don't know. So I happened to go to Walmart and I was buying some items there, and I saw that their colors was gray, red, and blue. So I came back and said, let's do gray, red, and blue. So the whole rink, all the walls was gray carpet. It looked really bad. I told you I'm not good with color.
Yeah.
And it was like that until the guys came to film ATL, and they didn't like it. And they said, can we change the colors? I said, yeah, please. You know, because I don't like it either.
Yeah.
So they came up with the red and black because, you know, the Falcons.
Right.
And it's been that color ever since. So that's the movie ATL color.
Mm. So February 5th, 1992. Do you remember that day? February 5th, 1992.
Wait, where do you get that date from?
The day that you purchased a Golden Glide.
Of course I remember that day. a lot of people don't know that day. Yeah. So I'll tell you a little bit of background on that. I'm originally from New York City. My family, we're from a small Caribbean island called Grenada. And left New York. I went into the Air Force, traveled around the world, and came back in 1987. I started working in the World Trade Center for a company called Eastman Kodak back in the film days. But I was an engineer for Kodak. I didn't do anything with film. And so I worked with them for 5 years in New York. And after traveling the world, New York was really not someplace I wanted to live. Too crowded, no quality of life. And I was like, this is not where I want to be. Well, my aunt, my dad's sister, she had recently sold some real estate that she had, moved to Atlanta, and she and I are really, really close, like more like a mom. Yeah. And she kept telling me, hey, sell those houses that I have and come down here and let's go into business together. So I actually came down in 1991. We went to the SBA office on Peachtree. I didn't know anything about Atlanta, and I wanted some information on what kind of business I should get into. And we pulled out the yellow pages back then, you know, there was
I remember.
internet and all that. So we pulled out the yellow pages and we saw that there was some skating rinks around Atlanta. So, I went to visit a skating rink, which was less than a mile from my aunt's house on Wesley Chapel. And it was called Golden Glide, kind of beat up and run down.
Right.
I went there on a Thursday night. They had about 50 people skating. And the funny part is, the DJ was playing a VHS tape. And that was where the music was recorded on.
What?
Yeah, a VHS tape. And they were listening to that. And my brother-in-law and I, we went in there, we looked around, and we found out who the owner was. Came back that Saturday, and I approached him and asked him if he wanted to sell. He said they were thinking about it. So I left him my business card. I went back to New York some days later. And I came home from work about 2 weeks later on a Friday. You know, my home phone, you know, the phone on the wall.
Yeah.
There were no cell phones then. So
Was it the button one or the one that you...
No, it wasn't that bad. It was the push button. Okay. So I ran to the phone, and it was Joe Baker, the owner of Golden Glide. He said they wanted to sell. Called my boss, told him I had to go out of town, and I took a flight, and I was down here the next day. And so we got a look at the building and everything, saw it was kind of beat up and run down. But both my aunt and I had a background in construction. From owning real estate. You know how to paint, you know how to do drywall, you know how to put carpet. So I was like, okay, this is just a fixer-up.
Yeah.
So we put our money together, and we went looking for financing to buy Golden Glide. And we got turned down by about 4 or 5 banks.
Yeah.
We had the money, but they said we didn't have any business experience. So we finally got a bank to approve us, and we closed on Golden Glide February 5th, 1993. So that's a day that I'll always remember it.
Yeah.
It was literally like the birth of a child for me.
Yeah.
And the funny part about it is that on the way home from the closing, my aunt and I, we were really depressed.
Wow.
Yeah, we had just closed on this business, almost $1 million.
Yeah.
We should have been happy, rejoicing.
Yeah.
And instead, we were really, distraught and depressed about it.
Right.
So I asked my aunt, I said, are you feeling what I'm feeling? She said, yeah. She said, why, So we both realized, what the hell did we do? We just bought a business in roller skating. I don't know how to skate. She don't know how to skate.
Yeah.
And the only business we've ever owned was, renting apartments to tenants. So he was like, oh my God, are we going to lose our money? So, I remember that day like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And, we got to Golden Glide, and there were some managers there already. We decided to keep them. And, one of those managers is still a friend of mine today. His name is Henny. And he taught us what he knew about the business. But I realized that I needed to really learn a lot more.
Right.
So I actually started taking some business classes with the SBA, online classes and stuff like that. And, Golden Glide that year made a little over $300,000 gross sales.
Yeah.
Well, by our third year, we had approached close to $1 million.
Wow.
So people ask, well, what did we do to make that business successful? And formula is simple. We fixed everything that was broken. We changed all the lights that wasn't working. We cleaned the carpet. We vacuumed the building. We cleaned it up. We fixed the restrooms. We just fixed the place up because nobody wants to go somewhere and pay good money in a dump.
Right.
So I said, I'm going to make it look good. And as customers started coming, they saw we were reinvesting in the business, and that brought out more and more people.
Yeah, exactly.
To where eventually, the numbers started going up. But, I utilized something that I call the Walmart formula, right? If you go into Walmart right now, it's people would be amazed if they were really understood why Walmart is so successful. There are over 20 different businesses inside of a Walmart store.
Wow.
So people who are younger, they don't realize before Walmart came on the scene, communities had a drugstore. They had a toy store.
Right.
They had a plumbing store.
Yeah.
They had a shoe store.
Oh, yeah.
They had all these different stores. What Walmart did was they took all these little small stores and put it on the one big roof. And now people started going there and saying, now I don't have to drive north, south, east, or west all over the community. I can go one place and get everything that I need. And that's the success of Walmart.
Yeah, one-stop shop.
Right. So I realized, I said, okay, how can I use Walmart's formula in a skating rink?
All right.
And when we bought Golden Glide, we made money off of admission and money off of skate rental. We did some birthday parties. We sold pretzels. We sold popcorn and stuff like that. But no food, really.
Right.
You know, people would leave there and say, let's go out to dinner with the family.
Yeah.
So the first thing I did was I built a pro shop. And I started selling candy and novelty items and roller skates.
All right.
After I did that, now I got income from admission, skate rental, and roller skates and candy, right?
Yeah.
Then we revamped our birthday party business and we fixed up an area to do birthday parties. So now we added birthday party sales. Next thing I did was I added arcade games.
Yeah.
So now we added that.
Yeah.
So if you look at what I was doing, I was adding income streams. So you bring the people in and then you just sell them different products,
Right.
which are income streams.
Yeah.
Our sales went up, right? And then the last thing that I did was I was one of the first rinks to introduce a full menu of wings and fries and all that stuff in a skating rink. Back in those days, that stuff was unheard of, right? People, roller skating rinks was going around to pizza joints and they would buy the pizza wholesale and come and cut it up and sell it retail in the skating rink.
Right.
Well, we started doing that, but I realized we have a captive audience. People are there for 3 or 4 hours. You get hungry and all we had is popcorn and pretzels. I was like, no.
Yeah.
So I invested in some small fryers and boy, we started selling, wings and fries and tenders to the point where I had to dismantle the whole kitchen and build a whole kitchen with a hood, real fries and everything.
Yeah.
Sales took off.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So that's the formula. So, what a lot of people don't realize is, to me, Cascade is the child of Golden Glide. Golden Glide is the mama, Cascade is the child.
Yeah.
Without Golden Glide, there would never have been a Cascade.
All right.
So people need to understand that. Golden Glide, I learned everything I needed to learn from that rink so that I could do something like a Cascade.
Yeah.
And in the process of fixing up Golden Glide, one of the things that I saw was just how high the ceilings were, 20-foot ceilings. So coming from a background of construction, I was like, but wait a minute, 20 feet? That's 2 stories.
Yeah.
So
and not to cut you off, but a lot of people don't know that you drew the design for Cascade.
Yeah. So when I was in college, I took an architectural drawing class and never thought I would ever use that. And here it is. I had this idea for this skating rink with a second floor. So I drew that skating rink. That was in 1997. Wow. I drew it on paper.
Yeah.
I had a whole bunch of little pieces of paper. I drew the skate floor. I drew the snack bar. I drew the pro shop. I drew the offices, the party area.
The arcade that was over there.
Everything. I drew everything. And it was all on separate pieces of paper. And I stapled it together.
Yeah.
And I started showing people, one day I'm going to build a rink like this. Okay, well, God says write the vision down, right?
Right.
So that's what I did. I drew it. I wrote it down. In 1998, the same people that I bought the land from Golden Glide from called me up. Hey, Greg, we heard Golden Glide is doing real well. You're making money. You have an idea to maybe build another rink?
Right.
So I was like, sure, I've designed one. go over to MLK and 285. We got some property over there. Take a look at it and see if you're interested. I looked at it. I made some calls. People said, bro, you better jump on that, right? The location is perfect.
Yeah.
So we bought the property and I took the drawings to an engineer and architectural firm. We got some real drawings from it. And at that point, you know, I had money. Now I had to go find the rest of it to build a ring.
Yeah.
And the project was a $2.5 million project.
Wow.
That was in 1999.
Yeah.
So went to the first bank. No, we're not interested. Second bank, no. By the time I got to the fourth bank, this young woman looked at the package and she started laughing at me. And what made it really bad was she was a sister.
Right.
And she laughed and I said, like, what's funny? Oh, please, nobody's going to give you $2.5 million to build a ring. You know. So I said, okay, no problem. So I left. By the time I got to the eighth bank, I was turned down. Now I'm upset because I'm not going to allow anybody to steal my dream and kill my vision.
Exactly.
So I got to the ninth bank and I was really upset at this point because I had been turned down 8 times. I kind of threw the whole package on his desk and I said, look, sir, I've been to 8 banks before. I've been turned down 8 times. You're bank number 9. I said, so let me tell you what's going to happen. I'm building that skating ring. And if I got to go to every bank in the United States, from the East Coast to the West Coast, to the North, to the South, I'm going to go to every bank, financial institution there is. And if they all turn me down, you're going to see me again because I'm going to come right back around because I'm building that ring and nothing is going to stop it. I said, the only question that I want to ask you is, are you going to make money off of the loan?
Yeah.
And I left. I walked out.
Right.
Right? It wasn't 3 days later, I got a call. Mr. Alexander, your loan is approved.
Wow.
I was like, okay. You know, my dad always told me, right? Nobody lends you money when you need it. They lend you money because you don't need it.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, okay, don't give it. I'm going to get it somewhere.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And that's the attitude I had. They gave me the loan. We closed on it in September of 99. We broke ground over here. And in March of 2000, people started skating. And the very first celebrity event that I had was P. Diddy.
Wow.
Yeah, he had a party upstairs for his son because of the restaurant Justin's.
Yeah.
And he and his mom and kids, they were up there. And he looked down on the floor and it was a Saturday night. And he said, Greg, what's going on downstairs? I see, are you closing? I said, no, we're getting ready for our next session. And it's a bunch of teenagers.
Right.
He says, how many you gonna have? I said, about 500 or 600. He said, okay, cool. I got them.
Yeah.
I said, what? He says, I'm gonna pay for them. Here's my card. He says, just let me know. I'm buying all their admission, their skate rental, and food.
Wow.
Yeah. Man spent almost 10 grand. And as the kids came in, we told them, hey, you've already been paid for. Just come on in, come on in. When they got in, he came downstairs. I gave him some skates and he went and he skated with them.
Didn't Magic Johnson host that with him?
No. Magic
was separate.
Magic Johnson came a lot later.
He did. Oh, he came later.
Later.
Okay. And then you had Beyonce come in here.
Her 21st birthday.
Yeah.
That was by far the biggest event that Cascade had up to that point. And we had celebrities from all over the world come to her party.
Right.
It was a red carpet event. They hated my color scheme as well. So they draped the whole building in gold drapes, gold and white. I didn't even recognize it when I came in.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was really, really nice.
Yeah. So I love the family friendly atmosphere that you created in here. It's like, even when celebrities come in here, they feel like family. Doing what you did created like a doorway for a lot of people. You opened doors for a lot of people. Some skaters, like, you know, they came from Cascade to the Super Bowl, you know, so you created a lot of opportunity for a lot of people, you know.
Well, you know, I wish I could take the credit, right? But I give God the glory.
Right,
Okay?
exactly.
And what a lot of people don't know is that